Well, it's been a while since we shot one of these, about 4 years, and in the interim, GOB Retail, which was originally in Madison Heights, moved to Clawson. So we thought it was time to get an updated walkthrough of the new digs here in Clawson. So walking through the main entry area here, right here at the beginning, we got a variety of jewelry and statues and decor type things. Game accessories. Walking right in, we get into Dice Masters, Magic, play mats, Magic. We got single cases for Magic. Decent number of them running here. You kind of flip it around. Right nearby, we've got a rather large selection of card games, simpler card games, for 2-3 players. A few party games, the virtual wall of Munchkin. Moving on down, we got some more card games. Pretty wide variety, from zombies to everything from ILO, Bang, a lot of the Fantasy Flight living card games. Moving on a little further, we venture on into the board game section. That whole area, look there, about 5 rows, all of that is the board game section. I'll take a quick walkthrough real quick. Overall, the board game section has, combined with the card game section, roughly about 4,000 titles in the system currently. The vast majority of them face out, pretty easy to browse. One of the reasons we actually moved to this new location, because those of you that remember our old location in Madison Heights, remember we were pretty squeezed in. Well, the new location here in Clawson is actually about 6.5 times the size of the old location, which gave us a lot of room to get a lot of board game titles on display out here, and so it was a little bit easier to browse. So we've got 5 rows of board games, carrying everything from Euro to strategy to a lot of the new co-op games that are coming out. Decent bit of the war game section here as well. Once you get past the war games, you got the beginning of our comic section here. So graphic novels, kids comic section, ongoing series. Whole wall of them here, coupled with a lot of graphic novels from DC. And then you got another whole wall of new release comics or ongoing series comics. In total, we have nearly 800 series on the walls here to browse, not counting graphic novels. This section here, we tend to put a lot of the newer or more well-known graphic novels, so like a lot of the Marvel and DC ones are here. On the flip side of this aisle, I'm going to turn around in just a moment and I'll show you what we've been doing with our back issue bins. Used comics specifically, is we have begun the process of cataloging all comics from all times, getting them into their respective publishers' pull boxes and sorted by title, and making little graphical tags so you can see the year of the series and the series name. So we're about 12,000 copies into that process. Our best estimate says that before it's done, it may take a year or two, but we'll get 300,000 copies in. So a little ways to go yet. On the end cap here, we have a lot of the newer image titles. Going down this other row, we have a lot of comic bundles where we bundle a complete series from a comic together, plus a lot of graphic novels on display here too. At last count, graphic novels, we're sporting about 4,000 titles in our system. So, and we're continuing to expand it as we get more into carrying comics. A few statues. Can't miss with that Joker one. And some more graphic novels, a lot of the independent stuff. Then we mosey on over. We have our RPG section here. And in the Incap, you're finding a lot of older titles: White Wolf, Middle Earth, Shadowrun, Warhammer. Moving into newer stuff, you got Shadowrun 4th and 5th. Couple large racks full of Savage Worlds books. Pretty popular system locally. Numenera, Strange, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Dresden, Iron Kingdoms. So we've always had a pretty good selection of RPGs. We had to squeeze them in pretty tight at the old store. Thankfully, at the new store, we have a lot more display space, a little bit easier to browse. 5,000, 5,500 RPGs in the system. 2 whole rolls of RPGs. So you got that row. This section, we carry a lot of the old D&D stuff. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th editions. A lot of 2nd edition box sets there from Dark Sun and Forgotten Realms. Even the old first edition classics. 4th edition. 3.5 collector's books, used. And this gigantic monstrosity of shelving here is probably over 1,000 D20 books. Nearly the incomplete Pathfinder line, from the card decks, card game, most of the available imprint adventure paths, the whole line of flip mats. Moseying into a few of the more independent stuffs. Right here at the corner, kind of the junction between the role-playing section and the comic section, we have our comic new release rack, graphic novels, and comic series, all from just this last week of release. Usually we have anywhere between 80 and a little over 100 different series come in every single week now. A little bit of an end cap where we keep some of our more collectible RPG items, a bit of nostalgia. Till yesterday we still had a D&D white box in there. Then we venture over here to our new puzzle section. We just started carrying puzzles middle of last year, but we've got a decent selection of them now, including a lot of the more new style 3D puzzles. Puzzles. More puzzles. In addition, we made to the store that we didn't have at the old location. We now have the new location. So we have a pretty good wall here of family and kid games. Games that are topically appropriate for younger people, and a few party games. And of course, we do have Cards Against Humanity, but we keep that over at the counter. Not necessarily appropriate for kids. And we have a lot of your most popular Euro games over here as well, like Settlers of Catan, Ticket to Ride, things like that. Have a pretty decent miniature section as well. We carry, well, as much as we can. I wouldn't call it full line, but 70-80% of the entire War Machine and Hordes lines in stock currently. Actually, this whole wall is nothing but War Machine, going all the way down there and turning the corner, all War Machine. Plus, this alcove here has got a bit more War Machine. So we have War Machine. It's one of our big sellers in store for our miniatures department. We carry a little bit of some of the smaller games: Dust Tactics, Heavy Gear, Flames of War, Malifaux. Mostly what we have from first edition. Dystopian Wars.
Did you hear that?
Some of the more miniature focused games from Cool Mini or Not.
No, I tried to find a name of the company and stuff.
We also have a pretty large selection of Battletech miniatures and books. Over here we have a lot of the used books. And over here we have pretty much everything in print, new line for BattleTech. We also have a used miniature case. Any of the game lines that we carry new, for the most part, we will also buy and resell used copies. A fair bit of War Machine in here, a little bit of Malefax and other things. And of course, Star Wars, Armada, X-Wing, Star Trek Attack Wing, and a fairly large selection of hero kits as well. We have an accessory section, deck boxes, sleeves, binders, also accessories for miniatures, several brands of paint, Privateer Press, P3 paints, the Army Painter, and coming out back over here on the approach to the other side of our door, decent selection of snacks and drinks, refrigerated items, and our video game section. So we pretty much carry everything except the current systems. So we have PS3, Xbox 360, and then everything going back to Genesis, Atari, accessories, lots of accessories, and then a lot of old Genesis games, Xbox, PS2, N64, game systems of pretty much all types, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Game Boy Color, PS1s, GameCubes, Wii, PSP, even a whole wall of nothing but strat guides. Rather decent selection of NES games in our case. Well, that is pretty much most of the merchandise we have available here. I'm going to turn right up here and we'll take a quick peek at a game room. We have open gaming 7 days a week. We've got some sofa setups with tables here for role-playing gaming and casual card gaming. 2 long wargaming table sets, so we can support up to 12 games of 4x4 for games like War Machine, Hordes. So now just to get a closer look at these tables. And seating for about 100 players or so for card games and board games. So that pretty much completes our tour. Still a little bit of a work in progress, but hope you enjoyed it. Maybe come on, stop on by. We're at 775 East 14 Mile in Clawson, Michigan. Website, gobretail.com. Thanks.